Hey, what's up YouTube? Luso here, Team D Plus Gaming, and I'm joined today by Psychic Wizard.
Hey YouTube.
And we're here to talk to you guys about the ban list. So the September 1st OCG ban list has now been confirmed. With some of the things on there, there is still speculation that the TCG might finally get our own ban list. I mean, just because there's some of the decks that are hit, like 3-axis, just because in the OCG, Rooster's been out for a couple of years now or something.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Whereas we just got it back last weekend in Judgment of the Light.
Yeah, it's been a week.
And so already being hit to 1 is a little bit drastic.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, with that, it seems a little rash, and so there's still more hope than usual that we might finally get our own ban list here.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a different metagame here and there, so, you know, it would be a good idea. People have been calling for it. It just maybe. So, I mean, take this with a grain of salt. This is the OCG list. It probably will be the TCG list, but not guaranteed.
Right. And the other thing is, the ban list is now going to be quarterly.
Yeah, and next time in November.
So this is going to be kind of a shorter format to get adjusted to and acclimated to. I think it'll change the meta a bit more.
Yeah.
And it'll change quicker.
Yeah, definitely. And I think they'll probably do a lot smaller hits.
Whereas, I mean, this one's a rather large hit.
Yeah, really big list.
The other thing with that being in November, I think they're also going to bring back some zombie support then, right before Shadow Spectre.
Oh yeah, same time. I could definitely see that happening. Because we were kind of surprised it didn't happen here.
Right, but then with the announcement of it being quarterly, it makes a little more sense.
Now it makes sense, yeah.
And so with that, we're just going to get into things. First off, Spellbook of Judgment, all the way to banned. A lot of people were saying 1 just because it was a newer card, but I guess that really didn't matter this time. That was the card that put the last straw on the camel's back.
Yeah,
it broke it.
Yeah, I mean, they put the money aside and kind of behind them at this point, you know. Took a secret out attacking Galaxy all the way to ban, but I mean, it was the broken card that kind of made them absurd. You know?
I mean, yeah, it was just activate any spell you draw into just because you're going to plus off it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just grabbing the end phase, summon a Jowgen at the end. You know?
I mean, so at this point, I don't think it's going to kill the Spellbook deck at all. It's still going to be a really good deck and really formidable to face, but it's just going to take skill to be able to play.
Finally. Yeah.
Next up, they banned all 4 baby dragons. I mean, with the big dragons being in tins, that was expected, that they wouldn't hit the big dragons.
Mm-hmm.
And so a way to kill elemental dragons is just ban all 4 babies.
Yeah, now they only have 12 of the big dragons, and going to be a lot less consistent that way, because they also, you know, won't be getting the super rejuvenation pluses here.
Right, and so, I mean, to me, banning those 4, I mean, banning Stream hurts Mermails, but beyond that, it just really kills the elemental dragon deck.
I mean, Burner's a little bit of 3-axis there, too, but...
But that's something to be expected.
Yeah.
And next, going to what's now limited. First off, Super Rejuvenation. To me, that's just beating a dead horse. The babies are banned. Super Rejuve does nothing for elemental dragons anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, at most, it hurt Hieratics, which didn't really use it.
Dragon Drag Zodia, but, you know, sometimes...
So, I mean, that would probably have done it.
I mean, that makes sense.
Because Konami does dislike Exodia-based decks.
Oh, for sure.
Alternate win strategies are never...
They're frowned upon,
yeah.
Typically. At least by players.
Yeah. Next up, we have number 11, Big Eye. That was kind of the rank 7 they banned, limited. Again, Mega Phantom Beast Dracosac. A newer card, wasn't likely to get touched.
Yeah, and it's honestly not the broken card. I mean, Big Eye's the one that steals.
Right, and anything with a steal effect is something that's frowned upon. I mean, there's so many of the banned spell cards that steal monsters.
Yeah, I mean, when Big Eye came out, he wasn't that. He was really hard to make, so he was kind of like somewhat balanced. It's like he really hard to make, get this great effect.
But now there's so many 7s that are easy to special summon.
You can make it twice a turn if you want. I mean, in that deck. But,
yeah, and so I mean, with that, down to 1, you can just use it to push for a game, more or less.
Yeah, just use it once. You use it first, and your opponent gets theirs out. You're at disadvantage, so I think that's kind of a goal there.
The point, yeah.
Kind of discourage it.
Next up is Mermail stuff.
Yeah.
And so, first of all, we have Teus down to 1. To me, I was only running 1 anyways. I mean, some people run more, but that at 1 doesn't really do anything for me. The big hit is Sphere. That was a great card, easily searchable, great way to special summon big stuff.
Yeah, if they try to just blow it up, you just chain it, you know, bring out your land.
Kind of the surprise here is they didn't hit anything Atlantean in the Mermail deck.
Yeah, they usually hit the search, so you think Dragoons, a lot of people are saying. But no. I mean, Teus, it kind of hurts their rank 7 consistency, and that it was really like one of their easier ones to drop, give them some cards in their hand. And then, you know, of course, Sphere. that definitely hurts them more.
Yeah.
But I mean, they'll be a viable deck still, of course.
Yeah, I think they'll be able to play out of it.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be too bad. Next up is Fire Fist Rooster.
Yeah.
Down to 1. That came out less than a week ago.
Yep, a week ago.
And that's already down to 1, which is kind of one of the suspicions why TCG might finally get their own ban list.
Just maybe, man.
But so that definitely hurts the 3Xs. I mean, they were only running 2 anyways, but that down to 1 already is a bit harsh, at least in our eyes.
Yeah, pretty much. The deck never got 3 or 2. You know.
I mean, yeah, the
TCG.
deck never got started. You weren't able to play that at any regionals even.
Yeah, not anywhere in the DCG. So.
And so that was
Interesting.
definitely, yeah, it was a little bit disappointing, a little bit interesting.
Gotta suck for those guys that bought 3 on like release weekend. Like, oh, it just came out, ready to use my brand new 3-axis. Nope.
So yeah, a lot of it will be going back to the market.
Yeah.
Price should drop more, which is good.
Definitely.
Next up, Wind Up Sharks down to 1. I mean, Magician went back to 3, but Shark was kind of the speed in the Wind Up deck. And so that hurts it even more still. And the deck didn't do anything this format, so
Yeah.
I don't know, Konami just hates wind-ups, I guess.
Yeah.
Next up is the Pieces to Harpy Burn strategy. Genex Ally Birdman and Divine Wind of Mist Valley.
Pre-ban.
Yeah, so I mean, to me, that confirms that we're finally getting Dancer in English. But again, the deck's already banned before, or dismembered, I should say, before it could ever get started.
With the pieces at 1, yeah. You can't make that without Birdman.
Right, I mean, yeah, Birdman you needed 3 of. Divine Wind you needed at least 2. You could get by with 2 of those to still have the FTK.
Yeah.
But I mean, just because it is an FTK is probably why Konami decided to hit it.
Oh yeah, no one likes FTKs.
But good news is we should get Dancer now in English for either Joey's Collection or Shadow Spectre.
Yep, import. Probably should happen.
And then, last but not least, the biggest news for the limited section is Trish of the Ice Barrier.
Yeah, the really big thing. I mean, first Synchro to come back here. They were talking about Synchros coming back. They brought Trish back.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to help out Mermails for sure. I mean, they're probably the main deck that can make it.
I mean, it's a generic Synchro though, so there's a lot of decks that could try and utilize it.
Yeah.
The only thing is, with this one, it requires 2 non-tuners to make, so it's a little more of an investment card-wise.
3-card investment.
But the effect's definitely worth it.
Yeah, the effect banishes one in, grave, hand, field. Without targeting. It's a pretty good card.
Yeah. Next, going to semi-limited. First thing is we got 2 staples back to 2. So we got Gores and Neospatian Grand Mole. Gores, no one likes to face Gores.
Yeah.
Having 1 for your opponent to drop was bad enough. Because with Gores, you have the 2700 beater that was just special summoned to block your attack. And then you have a token with the same attack as what you just attacked your opponent directly with.
Yeah.
So I mean, the token next turn is essentially going to crash with whatever big thing you had on the field. And then Gores can attack over almost anything.
Yeah, I mean...
And plus the token's light, you can drop an honest on that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they thought it had to come to 2, but I get to run 2, but I have to face 2. I think I'm more upset about that.
Yeah. And Grand Mole, to me, Grand Mole coming back to 2 makes sense. Because with the Key Beetle Safe Zone lock, Grand Mole is one of your few outs to that.
Oh yeah, and Trish also.
And Trish, yeah. And so I mean, Grand Mole at 2, it helps you draw it consistently when you have that sided in.
Yeah, I mean, because that lock is very powerful. And I mean, they don't really need to hit anything in the lock. Neither of them are broken really on their own at all.
But so yeah, Grand Mole back at 2, that was a good call. It was about time that happened. Next, we have a Gladiator Beast back to 2.
Yeah, you got Bestiari. That'll help their deck, mainly just because if they just got 1, if it got bottomless, you'd have to go into a Desperation Levier play to get it back. And you really need him for Gyzerus, so really just getting a second helps that in terms of if you get 1. If you lose 1, you're not screwed.
Right, you don't have to scoop and just go on to hope games 2 and 3 are better.
Exactly.
And then also Tenki, so another Fire Fist card. So Tenki down to 2, it was their, essentially their Rhoda type card. It was a search that was searchable itself. So that makes sense, especially with the fact that bears tend.
Yeah, I mean, people are going to be splashing bear everywhere, so...
I mean, Tenki down to 2 slows things down a little bit there, now that bear is easily attainable.
It definitely makes sense, yeah. Because, every deck with Gladiator, or with Beast Warriors is splashing them now, so...
And I mean, along with that, there's... I don't know where I was going with that. Anyways, moving on to the unlimited section. First off, Wind Up Magician to 3. So that helps Wind Ups up a little bit since they banned the Shark. Or, sorry, limited to the Shark.
Shark at 1. Yes, they swapped them.
So, I mean, it still hurts them more, but...
They'll just have different combos this time.
Yeah.
It won't be as good, but...
it'll be interesting to see how they kind of come out of it.
Yeah.
Next up, E-Call back to 3. So happy for this. I mean, it's been at 2 for so long. And to me, I think that Heroes might be viable again. I mean, it's definitely a fun deck to play. The extra deck is just really tight in that one.
Yeah, definitely. With having those split.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're announcing rule changes. Just maybe they'll increase that extra deck space for that.
I mean, that would be nice, but to me, with the extra deck room, 15 is like an even divisible by 5.
Exactly.
20 is too many.
20 seems too many, but you know, you want like 17, but it's like...
But I mean, that's not even 5, yeah, so they
You
won't
can
do
have
that.
17 cards in your extra deck. It just seems strange, you know?
Yeah, so I mean, I don't think they'll bump it up to 20, at least not for a while.
Yeah.
Next up, Pot of Duality back to Unlimited. Again, it helps consistency in a lot of decks. That'll help out to me Gravekeepers and maybe Elemental Heroes.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, with 3 E-Call, I don't know if we'll be running Dualities, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those cards that signals here's a slower format, you know, help out there.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
It's a balanced card. You can't special summon the turn, so...
right, so I mean, that's good.
Yeah, it's good to have that 3.
Next up, Scapegoat. It was limited, and now it's back to 3.
Yeah.
So with that, I mean, it's interesting. To me, that helps out the return of Synchros, because you can Synchro off the Scapegoat tokens.
Yeah.
Also, with Dracosac, that makes it even more broken, in my opinion. Change Scapegoat, your opponent now has to face 4 more tokens before they can start dealing with Dracosac.
Yeah, you can't destroy with any tokens on the field, so that includes Scapegoat.
Mm-hmm.
Something a lot of people don't remember.
Yeah.
They kill 2, he detaches 1.
Next up, Reasoning. Reasoning was at 2, now it's back to 3. I mean, to me, there are uses for this card. It's a great way to mill a bunch of spells. So, I mean, to me, that helps Spellbook a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, for Fate fodder.
Oh, yeah.
Because I want Spellbooks engraved to banish.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, beyond that, there's not too many applicable uses for it anymore.
Yeah, I'm not thinking what it would really help.
Next up, Advanced Ritual Art. It's now back to 3.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't seen a Ritual Monster for a long time, so it's not...
Except for Number Hunters, that Chakra, OP.
Yep. I mean, there are some plays with Ritual Monsters, but to me, Advanced Ritual Art's not going to change anything, really.
Yeah. I mean, maybe someone will go back and build those old Doom Demise decks, but...
True, Doom Demise could be fun to see.
Yeah, just rebuild it for the heck of it, why not?
Mm-hmm. And then next up is Mirror Force. I mean, it was a big upset when that came back to 2.
Yeah, people are like, whoa, 2 Mirror Force?
But now it's back to 3. When you think about it, there was like 3 semi-limited traps. You had Torrential Tribute, Bottomless, and Mirror Force. To me, Mirror Force is the less broken of the
Yeah, the weakest of the 3. I mean, it can destroy more monsters, but it's less live because, you know, once they've got monsters on the field, they often destroy it.
Right, yeah, they like to clear back row before they start attacking. So, I mean...
Like the popularity, you know, like Fire Fists.
Right.
Gorilla could just destroy that, or you could just Bottomless Gorilla.
I mean, the good news is you can take and put 3 of them back there. I mean, even if 2 get hit by MSTs, you still have the 3rd one there.
Yeah, exactly. 3 Mirror Force, you're going to be scared to attack.
So, yeah, I mean, that kind of wraps out the ban list. All the big changes for us. Again, a lot of cards changed.
Definitely a lot. They hit a lot of that, you know, they hit the tier 1, they hit those decks that dominated Worlds and Nationals.
They hit a couple of decks they're afraid of becoming big this format, like 3-Axis and Heartbeat Burn. And then they helped out some random decks that haven't been doing much.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're really signaling it's going to be a slower format. I think it's going to be a lot more of a diverse format, too. Like, who knows what's going to win now?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different decks that could be viable.
Yeah, you know, anything. You won't know what you're going to see in the top tables anymore. Which will be interesting. You won't make your side decks will have to be, you know, you have to put more thought into that.
Yeah, definitely. And, I mean, it's just kind of knowing who was out there and what you're expecting to face. But with that, it's Team D Plus Gaming signing out.